Madam President, it should come as no surprise that I might have a different point of view than the Democrat leader when it comes to the issue of net neutrality. If you look at what's happened since the FCC ruled on this, there were all these terrible apocalyptic predictions that were made about how speeds were going to slow down, the internet was going to slow to a crawl, you wouldn't be able to do basic applications anymore, none of which have happened. And obviously, we all believe, I certainly do, and I think most of my colleagues on this side believe, that if you want to have an open and free internet, that is a good thing. And if there are concerns about blocking or throttling or slowing speeds in some way, that Congress should be heard from on that. Because what we've had now for several years is this ping-pong effect. When one party is in power, they change the rules to suit their desires, and then the other party comes to power and changes it, and then you've got all this litigation that goes on in the courts, which doesn't help anybody. All that does is bog things down and generate tremendous amount of cost, and nobody's interests are served by that. So if there is a concern, and I have articulated this on many occasions to my colleagues on the other side, to work with us on a legislative solution where Congress can step in and put clear rules of the road in place when it comes to the internet, making sure that we have an open and free internet, we are prepared to do that. But that is not something that the Democrats have been interested in doing. They would rather have the heavy hand of government that slows this innovation down, all these wonderful things that are happening in our economy right now. The race to 5G, which obviously is critically important to so many sectors of our economy, could be dramatically impeded if you had the heavy hand of government, the heavy hand of regulation, which has been advocated by our colleagues on the Democrat side for some time, if that became the norm. And I will just tell you that we heard when the FCC, when President Trump was elected and Chairman Pai was made chairman of the FCC, and we had a Republican FCC, which did away with the heavy-handed regulations of the previous administration. We heard all these apocalyptic predictions coming from the Democrats about all the horrible things that were going to happen to the internet. Madam President, I can tell you, my experience, I think, is like most Americans. I can continue to download applications. I can continue to use to scroll and to see the things I want to see and to toggle back and forth between different websites in a way that I did before. It just flat hasn't happened. And so they are trying to come up with a solution for a problem that does not exist. That said, we'd be happy to work with them if we want to put clear rules of the road in place, but that's not what they want. They want the heavy hand of government, the heavy hand of regulation, strangling what has been one of the most remarkable economic miracles of the last half century. If you look at what the internet has done in terms of productivity in this country.